Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. So today I'm going to be showing you a reason why you should buy a laser cutter, so you can make cool stuff like this sign. It doesn't take a lot of skill per se. If you're good with a computer, you can do it. So let's jump into the design I made and then the build. I just want to apologize for my voice. I've been battling a cold, so hopefully I can get through this before my voice starts to completely go away. Okay, so this is the design that my girlfriend and I came up with. We thought it'd be kind of a cool idea to make a housewarming gift for her friend that lives over in Italy. Her friend is big into like camping and hiking and just outdoorsy kind of things, so that's where we kind of picked up this theme. My girlfriend found this font on Etsy. When you download it, it comes as like 3 different individual fonts, and then you layer it up so you can get that effect, which is pretty cool. We're just doing the one layer, but the plan is the text here, the big text, the brown trees, and then this mountain range are going to be cut out on the laser out of 1/8 inch or like 3mm plywood. It's going to be layered and glued onto this gray layer, which is another piece of 1/8 inch plywood. I don't know how well this is going to actually work, because some of this is really fine. Like when you get back to like 1:1 scale, that's probably like some of these trees are smaller than like a toothpick, so hopefully they don't break. I mean, some of it's going to be kind of like off hanging from some of this background stuff. Like that one there, it's tiny, but it's going to be glued to this big piece. So that should be fine, hopefully. As far as the rest of the sign goes, this font here and the black spots are supposed to be stars, and those are going to be engraved on here. I have a 1-inch piece of poplar, 1-inch thick piece of poplar. I'm going to cut that and make a frame out of that. 1/8 inch piece of plywood. This is going to fit in a groove I cut into that frame, and then the rest will be glued and stacked on top. I'm going to be cutting out the moon and this constellation, and we're going to be mounting some battery-powered LED lights. I'm not quite sure how we're going to work that out yet, depending on where the placement of the batteries are and stuff. Thought that'd be kind of a cool touch, just to have like a backlit, just to give like a little added cool factor, I guess, to the sign. Yeah, that's pretty much the basic design of that. I do have some things I have to go in and like, I'm going to clean up these little circles. That's going to be a lot of work as it is to just cut the outline of this out, and like at a distance you'll never see these little holes. They're just like little specks, and that's just added stuff that the added cut time that the laser is going to do. So I'm just going to cut that and clean it up, and then I also have to cut out or move some of these pieces like this where they go behind the trees, because you can't have them overlapping, because those two things are on the same plane. Otherwise they'll just be in the way of each other. So I'm going to clean that up, but you don't have to sit here and watch me do it. So I'm just going to jump from here to the workshop, and I will see you over there. So we got all my interior pieces cut. I'm still working on the back panel that has the moon and the stars and constellation in it, but here's the mountain range. I'm gonna have to go back in and redo a couple pieces. There was a couple that actually broke when I was taking apart because they're so thin. Just edit it so I don't have such a narrow piece. Some of the ones that were on the, just to help give the definition of the mountain line. But trees turned out pretty good, and then I'm going to use this offcut piece to help me align it when I'm setting in those mountain pieces, because they're all going to be glued on by hand, so I have to kind of set everything where I want it, and then use this as a kind of guide there. And then these turned out pretty good. We had a couple oopsies, but I'm going to use these anyways. It still looks pretty cool. You know, I missed a couple. I need to punch those out, but yep, these are all going to be painted. Carolina, not Carolina, Carolina. It's Italian. And then also I have to cut out that Italian phrase on the bottom too on that back panel. And this is the LED I picked up on Amazon. Actually a pretty nice kit. It's got different patterns and stuff. But really all I needed it for was just to have a constant light source. But the problem is this has a remote control and it uses infrared, so with this being on the back side of the picture frame, it won't work because obviously you can't see the box. So I'm going to unhook that, hook it to a switch and just regular battery pack, and then glue that to the back, and that should be good for that. Alright, I really didn't have a good place to record the cutting of my things. I just cut my board down to about 2 1/4 inches, cut in a groove so that way my back panel will sit in it kind of like that, and then when I get everything stacked on top of it, it should be just a little recessed from the front edge. And while I did that, I went ahead and redid my mountains, made these edges a little bit bigger and adjusted some of the smaller pieces so they were a little bit easier to handle. A couple of them I missed, but I probably won't end up using those. But then I took my tape off and just used a piece of transfer tape for like vinyl transfer. That worked pretty good. I was thinking. My girlfriend wanted to try out this spray paint technique, so this was our first attempt at it. It ended up turning out really good. You just start with the lighter colors and work your way up and eventually cover it with the black, and then you use the craft paper, or if you have like newspapers, to lift off some of the paint, revealing the blues underneath. I kind of goofed up halfway through and I was not recording, so I didn't get to show that portion of it. But in the end here you'll see how it looks, and it's really awesome. I think we're going to try doing some of this just on a regular canvas, and yeah, it's really fun. Okay, so I forgot to hit record again, so you missed out on the first part where we glued down the trees, and now we are in the process of putting the lettering down for the name. I used the piece of wood that I cut the letters out of. I just cut it in half so that the trees weren't on there in the way. Just using that as a guide, get everything nice and straight on the bottom. Got our bottom edge stained. So far it looks pretty good. Decided to not go with a white, make it a little bit more muted for the night sky. And got our other stuff stained. Just let it dry a little bit. Using some Danish oil. Okay, I got the hole drilled for the switch, got that put in. Now next thing is just I'm going to put these little blocks in, I'm going to glue these down. And I had this panel that was pretty close, but obviously it's not quite the right size. I guess I could have cut those shorter, but whatever. I want to be able to screw this down and take it off for some reason in the event that when I put my LEDs around the inside of here, that something fails, I can take it off and resolder something or troubleshoot it without having to have that glued in place and then it's just stuck there. Alright, so I got my little piece here. I wasn't sure where I wanted the LED wiring to come through, so I didn't drill any holes yet, but that's going to be glued in place there. And I got my strip cut to length, and that's going to wrap around the bottom edge inside of there. I think I'm going to have the wires probably come out on the side. And I went ahead and I couldn't get my drill in there, so I just took a drill bit and did it by hand. This one's fairly soft. And then I'm going to mount the battery pack right there. Originally I was thinking I could just put it there, but sometimes these are kind of hard to get the batteries out of, so I was thinking you're going to be pulling on that, and that's attached to right there. So if you put it on the frame, that's solid, and then I'm just going to have a pain getting it screwed down, getting a screwdriver in there, but I'll make it work. I'm just going to go ahead and wire and solder all this up, clean it up, button that up, and this thing will be done. Well, if you're still with me, thanks for sticking around, guys. I really had fun making this sign. There's a lot of steps to it, but all in all, it turned out really cool. I think it will go over well with her friend. And I think we're going to try doing some of this artwork on a canvas just to see how that works. But that'll be another day for another project. But for now, thanks for sticking with me. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and hopefully I'll see you and maybe some new people next time around. So thanks for watching, guys. See you later.